Okay guys, welcome to another video. This week I'm going to be looking at 10 of my favourite shoot 'em ups on the Commodore 64. Now, as I've said before, I've already done one of these videos about driving games. These are definitely not the best shoot 'em ups for the system. I mean, there's tons and tons of much better shoot 'em ups available. These are the ones that have got fond memories for me. As you'll probably see as we kind of get into the video, a lot of them are very early games, but these are the games, these are the shoot 'em ups that I played a lot back in the day. Now, kicking things off is one of the most basic shoot 'em ups you're ever likely to see. This is Beam Rider, released by Activision. I think it was about 1983. It was a game that was released, I think it came out in Atari 2600, and it also came out in Atari. I think it also came out in the ColecoVision as well. It's a very basic game. Now, I got that on the Soft Aid collection, which was a charity collection for, it was like Live Aid, you know, the Band-Aid thing, raising money for Ethiopia. I think it was £4.99 for, I think it was 10 games, and this game was on it. I remember looking at pictures of it thinking this looks absolutely shite, but when I actually started playing it, it just got its claws into me. It's an utterly addictive game. You know, the graphics are very simplistic. It's got some of the best sound you'll get when I shoot 'em up on the C64 in my opinion. It's got one of my favourite sound effects on the Commodore 64, which I'm hopefully going to let you hear very shortly. Now, at the top left there, that's the number of baddies I've got to kill, so I've got 5 baddies left. Now, falling down the screen sometimes you'll get a little red, a little yellow spaceship. That's an extra life, and you need to make sure you don't shoot it. Now, coming up is my favourite sound effect once I hopefully dispatch of this mothership, and it's coming up now. Whoa! I love that sound effect. Just hearing it now is just amazing. Yeah, that's the extra life which you pick up. But like I said, it's a very, very, very simple shoot 'em up. But once you start getting into your later levels, it gets really difficult, and it's a complete zonal game. You really get drawn into the mechanics of the game. So if you've never played it, go and check it out, especially if you're a fan of shoot 'em ups. I can guarantee you'll enjoy it. Now, I've never played it on any other consoles. I'm guessing it's probably going to be just as good, because again, it's not the graphics that make this game, it's all about the playability. And like I said, the sound in this particular version I think is excellent. Very similar to sort of Tempest, Juno First type stuff. So that is Beam Rider, it says, and that was released by Activision. Let's just see if we can kill this baddie. Hey, there we go, that's Beam Rider. Right, next game is Eagle Empire. This was released by Alligator, programmed by a chap called, I think it was Steve Evans, or it's S. Evans, I'm guessing his name's Steve. He also programmed Guardian, which is an utterly fantastic Defender clone for the C64. Now, that game doesn't appear on my list because I could never play it because it's too hard, but this is a absolutely brilliant Phoenix clone, it really is. And as I'll probably demonstrate, it's also very, very difficult. Now, if you pull down, you get a little if you pull down, you get a wee beam that activates for a few seconds, but you can only use it, I think you've got to wait and it charging up, so you can't constantly use it. Come on, this time, wait for me to pass. I'm really not showing you this game at all. That sound as well is awesome. It's very kind of Jeff Minter Lamasoft. Come on, you little git. Totally unpredictable where these wee guys are going to go, so it's a really tough game. Yay! That's exactly what I was trying to do. But yeah, this is a really, really faithful version of Phoenix. I would say it's probably just as hard as the arcade one. And you can see there they like to fire their bullets onto the big blue birds. Now you think that these guys are big, but you've got to hit them bang in the middle to actually kill them, or else you clip their wings like that and you die. So that is Eagle Empire. That is a fantastic little game. Right, this one, Exterminator, Bubble Bus. This is one of my earliest memories of owning a C64. You'll soon see exactly what game it's like. Yeah, it's a clone of Centipede, and it's a cracking version. I always think that sound effect of the bird or the eagle is really impressive. It does sound very bird-like. And it's also got some cracking animation for a spider. I mean, look at that, that looks excellent. Now, I like this game because I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's certainly you can play it for quite a while, or at least I could play it back in the day for quite a while. Whereas a lot of shoot 'em ups, you lasted a couple of minutes and that was it. But this game, when you actually got into the zone, I could usually last maybe half an hour or so, just depends. Can't remember what my high score was, but it's a really faithful version of Centipede. Instead of the what's the thing that walks along the bottom? You know, I can't even remember what it is. But yeah, instead of the spider that bounces up and down in Centipede, you've got the eagle. I think that little spider that walks along the bottom, I think that's the extra thing. Now that thing that you saw flying down, that is like the flea in Centipede. But it's got great sound, and it draws you in. You know, you've turn it up, put a pair of headphones on, turn the sound up really loud, put the light off, and just get into the game. It's awesome. It's also quite unusual to see a programmer's name at the top of the screen. Ken Grant, I wonder what he's up to now. I don't even recall if he wrote any other games besides this. I would absolutely love to speak to guys like this, guys that wrote games that were iconic, you know, in my memory. There's the, what do you call it, the scorpion. Now if a centipede touches that, it just comes straight down. So that is Exterminator, and that's by Bubble Bus. Right, this next one, Galaxy, released by Kingsoft. I think it was published by... No, it wasn't published. I was going to say it was published by Analog Software. It wasn't. It was published by Kingsoft, I think. Now, the type of game, I mean, virtually all these games are clones of existing shoot 'em ups, which was a very common thing back in the early days of computers. This one is Galaga. Now, the funny thing is, I've mentioned before, I wasn't a fan, and I'm not a fan of Galaga, the arcade game. Don't know why. Absolutely no idea why, but I love this game to bits. I think because it was quite easy. Again, it was one of these games, let me just sacrifice a ship. It was one of these games I could play for quite a while. It also kind of has high resolution graphics, which is quite interesting to see. It looks more like a Spectrum game. And you'll see as well, there's quite a bit of slowdown in the game, which might be a consequence of it running in some kind of higher... Oops, I've just lost one of my ships. Yeah, I don't know whether it's because it's running at a higher resolution. If anybody knows, is this running at a higher resolution? It certainly looks like it. My skills are weak, old man, that's for sure. This is probably the only clone of Galaga that I can actually think of on the C64. This is where you really want the double ship. And I've made a complete arse of that. That was rubbish, 25 out of 40. Ah, bollocks. Anyway, that is Galaxy. Right, you don't need... No, this game requires no introduction. This is probably the most up-to-date game that I've featured. I couldn't not feature this. I mean, this was a game... It's incredibly difficult, but you know, when a game looks this gorgeous, you had to play it. I mean, even now, it's probably not playing particularly well because I'm recording it. But even now, it just looks like it's not possible on a C64. This bit here, when the spaceship flies off, I don't know how Andrew Braybrook managed to get the speed and fluidity for a game like this. Just incredible, it really is. I'm not a big fan of the game itself. I always think it was just, it kind of erred slightly too much on the difficulty side, you know. Maybe it's just my crap reactions, but I always felt it was quite difficult to actually see if you were going to get hit with a bullet. But I mean, as far as presentation goes, it's an absolutely astonishing game. Just need to wait in the wee instruction to land, and I can go into the bonus stage. Right, I can now land, so come into the runway and slow up. There we go. And you get one of my favourite bits of the game. You get a little fruit machine bit where it's like you've got to try and build your score. That was rubbish. Then this is really amazing looking. When you think about this, it's a Commodore 64. This part here, this little sequence here, where the screen's basically melting. Really, really well done. Sound as well in this game is amazing. I mean, he did bring out a slightly enhanced version. I think he made it slightly smoother, whatever it was. This is just the sort of standard one. You've also got to be careful of the sort of buildings that I've got that are quite high up. You can tell them by looking at the shadow. But again, when you first play the game, it's quite easy to kind of miss them and run into them and then wonder why you've kind of been killed. And these little guys try and home in at you. Bugger off. Oof, that went straight through me, I think. Right, well, we need to kind of go back and then have another run at it. And slow up this time, there we go. Let's see if I can do better this time. I am still pants at this game. I think the furthest I ever got was level 3. So that tells you all you need to know about this, my reactions. But this is a stunning game. I mean, it's probably the best looking Commodore 64 game I've ever seen. Right, next up is Gyrus. Again, this was one of the very, very early games that I got. I think it came out in cartridge, but I was lucky enough to get a pirate copy on tape. It's an absolute cracking version of the arcade game. I mean, I'd seen this game in computer video games. I'd never obviously played the arcade one, and then I got this, and as far as I was concerned, this was the arcade. And now that I'm able to play Gyrus and MAME, you know, the actual arcade version, I've got to say that this version stands up really, really well. The music really adds to it. I'm not a fan of music in shoot-em-ups normally, but in this case it really adds to the atmosphere. The pace of the game, the bright, I mean, you know, I always think the C64's got some real dull colours, but then certain games like this were able to really make it look kind of glowing graphics. And then of course it's this game has my favourite double entendre, which we shall hopefully get the chance to use if I get past this level. And no doubt Dominic Diamond would have loved to have had this game in Games Master for obvious reasons. But yeah, this is an absolute fantastic version. I know my mate Mark Lactobacillus Prime, he did a review of this game, and he was basically saying how this is such a good version, and he's absolutely on the money. It's an absolutely stunning version. That's me reached Neptune. Oh, the chance stage. There's a bit of flickering going on with the sprites, but you know what? I don't know why it didn't detract from the game at all, as far as I was concerned. I think it just almost helped add to the kind of the bright visuals, you know, the flickering graphics. It just, I don't know, it didn't spoil it at all for me. Maybe if I'd played the arcade one, then went to this version, I might not think it's as good, but right now I think it's a stunning game. I play the main version a lot, and this version really stands up there. And there we go, 3 warps to Uranus. Dominic Diamond would have had an absolute field day had this game been about back in 1991 or whenever Games Master came out. You know, I could say I've almost reached Uranus, yes. Anyway, enough about that. Let's try and finish this little bit and then we'll move on. Come to Dad. There we go. Yeah, fantastic game. That is Gyrus, and that was released by Parker Brothers. Right, next up is again one of my very first games I ever owned for the Commodore 64, and it's Scramble with a K, released by Analog Software. Now, you can see here the game is quite juddery, you know, the scrolling's not the greatest, but honestly, back in 1983, Scramble was still a game in arcades. I used to still put money into Scramble, and suddenly here was a version of Scramble which, as far as I was concerned, was the real thing. The graphics looked just as nice, it played just as well, had the sound. I was in absolute arcade heaven when I got this game. I mean, looking at it now, you know, graphically wise, I still think it stands up really well. Okay, it's quite juddery. There has been an enhanced version of this brought out since then. Basically, they've just tweaked the game to make it play even better. But I've featured this version. This is the way it played back in 1983, 1984. And like I said, as far as I was concerned, this was the arcade version of Scramble. Absolute brilliant version. Slightly easier because you've got the fire button does both bombs and missiles, so you don't really have to, you're not having to kind of time it so much, you just basically hammer the fire button. But you need to make sure you take out the fuel dumps to keep your fuel nicely topped up. Again, the guy that wrote this, Darryl Etherington, I'd absolutely love to know where these guys are and speak to them, because, you know, these were games from my youth. These are games that I have got so many fond memories of. Now, you can't destroy these guys, so you just got to try and avoid them. And it's sometimes easier said than done. I used to always try and keep low, but I think the best way to play is just to get out in the open and just try and avoid them as best you can. Ooh, I'm gonna die. Anyway, that is a Scramble, and that is by Analog Software. Cracking game. Right, this noisy little bugger, this is... I don't know if this came out, I think this may have actually came out after Uridium. I love this game to bits. I love the arcade version of this. Again, I'd never played the arcade one. This was the version I played for many years, and it was only when MAME came along that I actually got to experience the arcade one. And even to this day, I love Slap Fight, but I think this is a really impressive version. Now, one thing that I notice here, you'll see the score and also the icons at the bottom. They're actually in the border of the computer, so it just shows you they had these really special tricks. They were able to display graphics in a border, and that's something that technically the C64 was never designed to do, but you know, programmers were able to play tricks with it and do fancy stuff like that. But again, it's got a dull palette, the C64, but they've really made this version vibrant looking. It doesn't look like a C64 game, it looks more like an Amstrad version, I think, which is a compliment. Really bright, great music as well. Again, music adds to the game, I think. But the game is tough as anything, and it's one of the most unfair things in it. If you build up your ship and you get sort of to level 5 and then you die, you go right back to the very beginning where you've got nothing and it's virtually impossible to continue. The bullets are slightly hard to see in this version, so you've got to be very, very careful. But yeah, that's an absolute cracking version of Slab Fight. Loved it to bits. And that was released by Imagine label, Under the Ocean label. This one is Space Pilot. You know what game this is. It's based on Time Pilot. And again, I'd never played the arcade version. I never got access to the arcades as a kid, so the only exposure to arcade games was the C64 version. And I says this is an absolute cracking version of Time Pilot. It looks the part, it plays the part, it plays exactly like the arcade. It's a game, it's played at quite a sort of slow pace, which for somebody like myself is great because, you know, it means you can get a decent enough game. You've got the wee time bar at the bottom there. Once that bar gets to the bottom, you get a big mothership, and then if you defeat that, you then move on to the next level. Whoops a daisy. Now I know there's a new version of this getting written for the Atari 800. I'll need to actually try and check it out and see how it plays. Whoa, ooh, that was close. It takes a few minutes to get used to the controls with the joystick, but once you suss it, it's a fantastic game. You can basically spin around in a tiny space. And again, it's a game, because it's slow paced, it lets you kind of get into it. And I've got to say, my favourite version of this game is actually on the Vectrex. Now that big barrage balloon thing, that is end of level thing, so if I shoot that, I will then move on to the next level. Through the time machine into 1940. Yeah, as I was saying, there's an absolutely phenomenal version on the Vectrex called, what's it called again? Vector Pilot. But I digress. You see here, we're now is it Spitfires, I think it is, that I'm fighting against rather than biplanes, so they go that wee bit quicker. And they've also got heat-seeking missiles, so they'll basically tail you. You've got to try and kind of avoid them, or shoot them even better. You get the occasional bit of slowdown in this game, which doesn't bother me at all. If anything, it makes it slightly easier, so it's all good. Oh, that was close. Should see the big baddie in a second. The timer's going right down. There we go, there he is there. Boof. Yeah, that is Space Pilot, and that was released by Analog Software. That's a cracker. Right, last one up. I could not leave this one out. This is the mighty Drop Zone, released by Archer McLean in 1984. Bloody hell. So it was quite an early game, and it's one of the best. I don't know why I died there. One of the best C64, not just the best shoot 'em ups, it's one of the best, most impressive games on the Commodore 64. I'll say it now, but Archer McLean has said that the Atari 800 is better. It runs at twice the speed. So you never heard that from me, but this version is, again, it's just glorious looking, and once again the colours he's used, he's got it looking really, really vibrant and bright. It looks like an arcade game. This was probably the best arcade game that never was. Now I'm using an Xbox 360 controller for this, which is the complete wrong control. You need a joystick, you absolutely need a proper joystick for this game. And this is, well, you can see there, that's game over already. It's a seriously difficult game, but it's an absolute beauty. I think the best I ever got was about 50,000, and that was a long, long time ago. You need to shoot that wee guy and shoot the little red thing, because he's going to he's going to kill one of your wee men at the bottom, which you've got to try and protect. But graphically and sonically, I mean, this has got some awesome sound. The sound when you explode is just amazing. Nope, there's a little NMI it's called. If you look at the little radar at the bottom, you can see it zooming in for me. There we go. Now if you lose all your little men, I think that's what they are, then you go into hyperspace and it's basically just a free-for-all. It's just, you're trying to survive. So I don't recommend you getting that. I recommend you always deposit at least one man to keep the level going. You pick him up and drop him into the wee base. But like I says guys, this is not the best 10 shoot 'em ups on the C64. I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of amazing shoot 'em ups. Catechus, Denarius, you name it, you know, Salamander, Nemesis. There's loads, I mean, Sanction, Delta. These are all fantastic shoot 'em ups. This video is purely my 10 favourite shoot 'em ups, the shoot 'em ups that I played back in the day, why I liked them, you know. I mean, I had a C64 pretty much from when they came out, so the early games, I got to play a lot of the real early games, which probably some people looking at them now are thinking they look absolute shit, and in many cases some of them are, but you know what, it was the games that I grew up playing, and it's the games that led me to still want to play computer games 35 years on. So every game that you've seen here tonight, or today I should say, is a favourite of mine for a variety of reasons. And I don't think there's a bad game. I don't think there's any game that I've picked that's a bad game. They're all definitely worth playing. Beam Rider, Eagle Empire, Exterminator, Galaxy, Uridium, Gyrus, Scramble, Slap Fight, Space Pilot. So anyway guys, as usual, I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I'll catch you again soon.